What's going on, movie fans? Welcome to MovieRounders.com, the world's first 360-degree movie review site. I'm Matt, Daniel, Tony, and Bethany, and we are here to review Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. And don't worry, this will be completely spoiler-free. We're just here to give you our initial thoughts on the movie. And we're going to start with Tony.
So we just stepped out of the theater. We were in there less than 30 minutes ago. We walked out, and I have to say, this is probably the least memorable Star Wars that I've seen. I mean, I walk out of there with, in my mind, Star Wars is dead. And I hate to say that because I've loved Star Wars my whole life, but it's like they've lost the fire and the direction that they had. The stories are just repeats now. And we're not going to give anything away, but the stories are just repeats. There's no originality to any of it now. It just seems to go in this one big cycle over and over and over now. It just blows me away. Set pieces were great. Effects were unbelievable. Music was great. Story was just boring and something we've all seen before. So it saddens me deeply because I wanted it to be so good, but for me, it was not good.
Bethany?
Well, maybe because I had such low expectations for it that I ended up actually enjoying it. My friend that I go with, he asked me like what I thought about it after it ended, and I was like, it might be one of my favorite ones. And so someone will be mad about that. I mean, we all know my favorite is Revenge of the Sith anyways, and a lot of people don't like that one. But yeah, I think this is one of my favorites. Now, there's certain things that I didn't like that they did. And we won't get into those because I was told not to do any spoilers. So they'll know what they are. And if you know me, all you have to do is ask, and I'll talk for an hour about everything that I hated or loved. But yeah, like you said, the set pieces were great, the effects were great, the acting is really good. Oh my god, that one scene early on where the thing happens and like you think the person is and you're just like, Daisy Ridley crushed that scene. Oh, yeah. She carried this movie on her back. And
acting is amazing.
Yes, I mean everyone did a great job too. I am satisfied with some of the characters and their end results, which you guys know. And if you remember us talking about this and what I wanted, I'm satisfied with that. And I kind of got the one thing that I really wanted. Not really, but technically got it, so.
All right. Daniel?
Well, this movie, in my opinion, has been Disneyfied. If you know what that means. I mean, if you know what that means, good, because it has been, and I feel the same way as Tony on this. I feel let down, and maybe I did build it up too much in my mind. Maybe I did want it to be like this thing where because like, God, you should have heard us all talking before this movie, and like weeks ago, we were like coming up with all these things that could happen, potentialities, none of that.
I learned after The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Garbage.
We have low expectations.
Yeah.
And see, I liked the last one. A bunch of people hated the last one. There's a couple things I didn't like about it. But in general, I didn't walk away from it going, it just feels like they've lost any kind of way to go because they just keep regurgitating. And it's like, I could oversee it a couple times. You're like, all right, I see what you're... But now it's like, holy cow, every time you do one now is just
I'm telling you. Well, I just want to say, like, a few things. Like, some of the robots sounded like somebody farted into a microphone. and I know that's kind of gross, but honestly, I mean, I was sitting there going, huh? I mean, literally, because it just, it had like a modular pitch to it a little bit, and I'm just like, this isn't right. So, but anyways, some things like that kind of got me. I didn't know it. There's a difference between types of ghosts in this movie. So if you're a Jedi, you're one type of ghost and you look a certain way. And if you're not a Jedi and you're a ghost, you may look a different type of way. So that's an interesting thing too to watch when you're watching this movie. And it was watchable. I would just have to say that like Star Wars in general is a feat of amazingness. But once you're on a level like you're 6 or 7 movies in deep, you do have to be hypercritical, because it's just like you expect a certain level of awesomeness, you know. So you set the bar here, it's got to keep going up. You can't do this. It's just the way it is.
I would have loved it if it was what it was. It was just an original story.
Yeah.
If they'd have just done that, everything else about it was hitting on all cylinders. It was great. It's just it's like, not again, not this. So it's like,
what's the George Lucas quote? It's poetry. It all rhymes.
yeah, there's some rhyming.
Let's just go with that one.
Yeah.
So basically, for me, it's from that Thanos quote. Disney's just like, you couldn't live with what happened before, and it brought you back to me. They couldn't live with what happened in The Last Jedi, so they fired the director they had, brought back in J.J. Abrams, and they're like, fix this. And he spent a lot of the movie fixing things and throwing things at you. And even in the opening crawl, I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of information to take in real fast. And then bam, 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 they're all over the place, and it moves so fast, which is not terrible. Because even when I watch Game of Thrones, I want to see the battles. I don't want to see the long expositions every single time. Here's my thing about the movie. There are a lot of things I liked, a lot of things I didn't like. I'm kind of right in the middle. But this movie boils down to 3 scenes in the movie. It was 3 scenes where they went bold. And JJ's like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, whew. All 3 times I was like, that's bold, bold, bold. And that could work. And then 5 seconds later, they washed it away.
Just kidding.
They were like, nope. All 3 times. And I was like, that is Disney Star Wars. It's the epitome of Disney Star Wars, because they had 3 chances and they washed all 3 away. You will see it when you see the movie. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it boils down to those 3 scenes right there for me. And as Daniel said, it is Disney's Star Wars. So I didn't hate it. I didn't love it at all. I'm right there, not really in the middle. I'm a little below the middle, but the fight scenes, great. Acting, good. Dialogue, okay. I see that they gave a lot of the older characters more front time, and I'm like, okay, you know, you're trying to appeal to the older fan base, get them back and all that stuff. So you see a lot of the older people more. But overall, I didn't have the highest expectations going into this like I did The Force Awakens, so I wasn't overall crushed. And they didn't do... they could have went one way. Thankfully, they didn't do it. Otherwise, this would have got a 0. I promise you that, if they did it. So
they were close.
It was close, and it would have had a 0. So I'm happy they didn't do that. So give us your rating, Tony.
I mean, like you said, all of the other parts of it were great. It's just I'm tired of seeing the same story reborn over and over and over. There were a couple scenes I'm like, oh, they didn't just do that. And oh no, we really didn't just. I mean, we just messing with you. I mean, there were scenes where like, oh man, if they'd have really done that and the ramifications of that and how that would have affected you further down into the story and things, but they couldn't. They're Disney, so things are too expensive. These brands are too expensive. These concepts and stuff, so they had to. So it was kind of a letdown. So for me, it wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was the same story. For me, it's dead middle 2.5, which is sad.
2.5 from Tony.
That hurts me.
Well,
Bethany loves the movie. So.
I really enjoyed the movie, and I mean, this is initial reaction. Like when I walked out of Last Jedi, I was furious. I despise that movie. I don't know why I didn't say it was my least favorite, because I guess I just wasn't thinking, because I just do not like Phantom Menace that much. But I like this one. I didn't want to like it, but I did at the same time, because like it's the last of the Skywalker saga, and so I'll go with a 4.
Ooh. Okay.
For me, I judge a movie if I want to go watch it again.
I want to go watch this again.
I don't.
That's good.
I call it a twofer. If it's something I go watch a second time, do I want to go see it? And I'm going, and I'm supposed to go see it with the family Saturday. I'm like, Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go see it with the family Saturday. I'm
You'll like
just
it
not jazzed for it. I'll watch it again because technically the effects are great and stuff. But anyway, maybe I'll like it better the second time. We'll see.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Daniel?
Well, I just wanted to say, did y'all see like a Power Ranger in there at some point?
We did.
I swear, I think I
the
did.
Maroon Power Ranger. Is there one?
You know, I want to say that. I mean,
Oh my
nothing
gosh.
And then I want to tell Disney, if you're listening to me, look, it's okay for people to die in movies. Like, you don't have to make everyone live. Like, everyone doesn't have to live. It's just a movie. I mean, it's a movie. It's a story
That's why I love
People
Rogue
can die
One. That's why I loved
in
Rogue One.
movies. You know, so okay, I'm gonna have to go with a 3.
Alrighty, and I will give it. I'll give it a. Let's go with a 2.5 as well. I'll go with 2.5. We'll go right there in the middle, not too high, not too low. And as you can see, this thing's getting a lot of divisive reviews from a lot of people here, a lot of people online. So it's even got us agreeing and disagreeing around here. But what did you think about it? If you saw it, let us know in the comments below. As always, follow us on movierounders.com and go there and give us your rating. And we are Movie Rounders, where we review the movie and you control the camera.